There is an old saying in Ladakh that the land is so barren and the passes are so high that either the best of friends or the worst of enemies dare to visit us. So it's indeed a matter of great pride for all of us to host you to this Air Force Station.
And of course, we are the former, not the latter.
Yeah, definitely. You are the best of the friends.
We've been looking forward to this visit for a long time. And anticipation is building as we get closer to the sun-bathed Thoise Air Force Station.
Got it.
An Illusion 76 strategic airlifter is the first of many of the Indian Air Force's aircraft we film on a routinely busy day at Thoise. The Gajraj, or King of Elephants, with its uniquely identifiable navigator and radar station under the nose and its T-tail, has landed at 10,066 feet at Thoise. On the southern bank of the Shyok river, personnel are busy unloading and loading the aircraft, and passengers are waiting for the IL's return flight. The air station is in a valley flanked by the Saltoro and Ladakh ranges in Nubra. The Thoise airfield dates back to the 1950s when a kacha or makeshift landing strip was first set up. It's a critical facility for the quick inflow and outflow of men and material to the Siachen Glacier near the actual ground position line, AGPL, between India and Pakistan. As India's northernmost airbase, it is as crucial against the China threat as well.
It is a base which is located at such a location that assets deployed at that base can be useful for both the fronts. They can be deployed even for our western adversaries and even for our northern adversary as well. All kinds of assets are capable of deployment at Thoise as well, be it fighters, helicopters, transport aircrafts, radars, weapon systems, whatever you name, are capable, and we have been exercising them all throughout.
It's about 140 kilometers from Leh, the capital of Ladakh. Our trip took us up over Khardungla on one of the world's highest motorable roads. The station is about 25 kilometers from Diskit, 18 from Hundar, and the road further leads to Turtuk near the India-Pakistan line of control, the LOC. It's about 80 kilometers from the LAC with China. The popular but incorrect myth is that Thoise stands for Transit Halt of Indian Soldiers en route to Siachen. That is just the figment of someone's very fertile imagination. The station commander points out, logbooks of veteran pilots show sorties to and from Thoise in the 1960s. Indian soldiers were deployed on the Siachen Glacier only after Operation Meghdut in 1984. He also tells us a local old folks' tale, which may or may not be true. A lot of Balti-speaking people were employed when the airfield was being constructed in the 1950s. They could not pronounce Tirche, the name of the nearest village. So in the Balti dialect, Tirche became Torche and that became Thoise. In present-day Thoise, military personnel going on much-earned leave or for work are also joined by a very disciplined group of local students and teachers on a national integration tour. They are travelling to the Indian Military Academy and Rashtriya Indian Military College in Dehradun and other places in Mussoorie and Chandigarh. The Army's Operation Sadhbhavna earning it much goodwill.
जुले मैं लद्दाख से हूँ और मेरा नाम यंगडोल AGS परतपुर से हूँ। तो हम ये NIT नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन टूर के लिए जा रहे हैं। तो ये ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया हमारे सियाचिन ब्रिगेड 102 ने ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया। उनका नाम है हटकर सर और हटकर मैम दोनों ने ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया है।
तो आई एम थैंकफुल टू सियाचिन ब्रिगेड कि उन्होंने हमें इतना बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया हमें वहाँ पर जाने के लिए।
अलीशा जी, आप ये बताएंगे कि आप और जो बच्चे हैं कहाँ जा रहे हैं, क्या मकसद है?
सर ये हम NIT टूर देहरादून के लिए जा रहे हैं सर। तो हमारे बच्चों को IMA दिखाना है सर, RMC दिखाना है ताकि हमारे बच्चों को कुछ एक्सपोजर मिले।
कुछ बच्चे जो हैं फर्स्ट टाइम जा रहे हैं, तो वो लोग जो फर्स्ट टाइम जा रहे हैं वो लोग ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड है। उनको मतलब हम आइल में बैठने के ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड है।
मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हूँ क्योंकि ये मेरा पहला एक्सपीरियंस है और वो भी दोस्तों के साथ जाने में तो कुछ अलग ही मज़ा होता है सर।
हमारे बच्चे काफ़ी टैलेंटेड है सर, लेकिन एक्सपोजर की कमी के कारण तो हमारे बच्चे आगे नहीं जा पा रहे सर। अभी इंशाल्लाह सर हम वहाँ जाएंगे, देखेंगे, इनको नॉलेज बढ़ेगा, एक्सपोजर बढ़ेंगे इंशाल्लाह सर। अब तो वहाँ भी इनके लिए काफ़ी फ़ायदा होगा सर। हमारे लद्दाख के लिए भी होगा सर और बच्चों के लिए भी होगा सर।
मेरे को बहुत सारा स्कूल देखने के लिए मिलेगा लगता है सर, और वहाँ के डेवलपमेंट से मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगेगा सर। वो जो कि वहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट है यहाँ भी आके मैं बड़े होके कुछ कर सकूँगी ऐसे सोच के सर।
बहुत अच्छा, थैंक यू सो मच और ऑल द बेस्ट। बहुत मजा कीजिए आप।
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू।
The Indian Army over the years has established 43 Army Goodwill schools in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Over 150,000 students have benefited in the last 22 years.
फ़ायदा तो बहुत होंगे क्योंकि लद्दाख तो छोटा सा है, तो बाहर जाके उनको जैसे कि IMA में जाएंगे तो इंडियन मिलिट्री एकेडमी जाएंगे, वहाँ से हमें कुछ सीखने को मिलेंगे कैसे ऑफिसर बनते हैं, है ना सर।
मैं NDA में ज्वाइन करने के लिए प्रिपरेशन कर रही हूँ सर। NDA में ज्वाइन करना चाहती हूँ।
All the best to you. Have great fun and may all your dreams come true.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू।
और अभी आप क्या सोचते हैं, आप बड़ा बन के क्या बनना चाहते हो?
यस सर, बड़ा बनकर मैं डॉक्टर बनना चाहता हूँ।
Saif's dream of becoming a doctor dovetails into another exposure he gets on this flight. A Siachen warrior is being medevaced or medically evacuated to be treated in the hospitals in the plains. With the patient and other passengers on board, this is a good time to take you on a visit we made to the Siachen hospital before we return to show you the IL taking off. The 403 Field Hospital or Siachen Hospital moved to Hundar near Pratappur in 2001. The Army Medical Corps Siachen Healers Major B.K. Pandey, Major G. Shivaram and others tell us they cater to about 12,000 personnel deployed at forward posts. There's also an equal number of civilians, ex-servicemen and dependents of serving personnel along the Nubra and Shyok axes who they heal. In the Siachen high-altitude area's extreme weather conditions, military personnel and civilians face high-altitude pulmonary edema, high-altitude cerebral edema, strokes, cerebral venous thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis, snow blindness, sunburns, hypothermia, chilblains, and frostbite. Administration of supplemental oxygen is the mainstay of treatment in high-altitude illnesses, and the hospital has its own oxygen generating plants. In 2021, Dr. Lal Path Labs, Honorary Brigadier Dr. Arvind Lal and Dr. Vandana Lal donated a hyperbaric oxygen therapy and a digital X-ray center. HBOT is used to speed up healing of carbon monoxide poisoning, gangrene, wounds, and infections in which tissues are starved for oxygen. One of the medical corps' mottos is saving lives and limbs, and we meet many recovering patients, including a soldier we filmed being evacuated from the glacier in our last episode. From recuperation to recreation, we also travel to meet the Veer Marathas at their nearby camp. to watch an India cricket match. With heaters and hot soup, the men in green are cheering on the men in blue in a makeshift auditorium. Unfortunately, the cricket team and the country end the match on a low. While India may have been momentarily down in the dumps after that loss, the IAF continues to reach for the skies. At the Thoise Air Station, we drive to the end of the runway to film the IL-76, which is ready to take off with its passengers, including local students, a patient, and its load. Meanwhile, a C-130 tactical airlifter is in the skies. And an IAF VIP Embraer aircraft is doing practice runs before landing.
Oh, beautiful. Can you hold this?
The Gajraj is a magnificent sight as the big bird, looking like a black bat, takes off for its home base. We shift focus next to the station's helicopters. The IAF's mainstay Mi-17 transport and close air support choppers operate from this station.
B-17V5 is a modern twin-engine helicopter. It has the state-of-the-art technology. The helicopter can also be used in armed version for rocketry, bombing as well as gunnery. We can also carry about 36 troops at a time and about 12 stretcher cases with 1 medical attendant. The Hepter is also capable of having an external cargo sling with 4 tons of load that it can carry at a time and an electrical wind system which can carry up to 300 kg at a time or 2 persons. So it's a versatile helicopter which can be used in multiple platforms.
A bit more about the capabilities.
Yeah, this Mi-17V5 helicopter is the workhorse of the Indian Air Force medium lift helicopter fleet, and we've been operating in the glacier, Siachen Glacier, since 2012. We support the troops in the inhospitable and challenging terrain of the Siachen Glacier. We take off before sunrise to beat the rising temperatures, and on a good weather day we pump in close to about 8 to 18 tons of load to troops at forward locations.
The indigenous advanced light helicopter Rudra is the armed version of the Dhruv. It provides close air support to ground formations against advancing enemy tanks, transports troops, and executes logistics, reconnaissance support, and casualty evacuation missions.
ALH Mark IV Rudra is the first indigenously developed attack helicopter of the Indian Air Force. It is capable of carrying 70 mm rockets, 20 mm turreted gun. The most importantly is the indigenously developed anti-tank guided missile, which is Dhruvastra. It provides a great anti-armor capability to the aircraft.
Adding on to the capabilities of the aircraft, we also have an electrical optical pod with a forward-looking infrared sensor, which makes this machine even more lethal. And the self-protection suite that includes the radar warning receiver, missile approach warning system, and the laser warning system that enhances the survival capability of the aircraft.
The IAF's AH-64EI Apache chopper is one of the deadliest attack helicopters in the world. The helicopter has been customized to suit the IAF's requirements and has significant capability in mountainous terrain to carry out precision attacks at standoff ranges and operate in hostile airspace with threats from the ground. The ability of these helicopters and pilots to transmit and receive the battlefield picture to and from weapon systems through data networking makes it a lethal acquisition. The Indian Army is also soon to get delivery of 6 tanks in the sky, as they are also known as. It raised its first Apache squadron in March 2024. The fuselage of every Apache helicopter sold in the world is also manufactured in India by Tata Boeing Aerospace Limited in Hyderabad.
Apache is one of the world's most advanced multi-mission attack platform that can give close air support to ground forces. This aircraft is equipped with the Hellfire anti-tank guided missiles, the 70 mm Hydra rockets, and 30 mm nose gun rounds, which can be used effectively against any ground target. It is also equipped with the air-to-air Stinger missiles that can be used against any aerial target also. All these armaments are accurately targeted by means of a wide array of sensors like the fire control radar and many other mission management systems. This gives the pilot a very high degree of battlefield transparency and situational awareness, making it the most potent attack helicopter of the world.
You're talking about the capabilities of the Apache. You can tell us about the role as well.
Yeah, over here at Thoise, we are maintaining this Apache detachment, and we are 100% mission ready to deliver the punch in support of our ground forces if the situation so demands.
The diversity in the IAF inventory illustrated in one shot of American, Indian and Russian-made choppers in the same frame. PLAF air bases are at altitudes over 12,000 feet, which impose serious limitations on the weapons load and fuel that its aircraft can carry. India has airfields, advanced landing grounds and helipads to deal with both the China and Pakistan fronts. In addition to the Leh and Thoise Air Force stations, the conversion of Neoma from an ALG to a full-fledged airfield at 13,700 feet will also plug a critical gap between Leh and the LAC. Apart from high-altitude locations near the LAC, the IAF can also use its bases on the plains.
We are the northernmost air base of the nation. We have very formidable offensive and defensive capabilities at this air base. We have a 10,000 feet runway capable of handling almost any type of aircraft, boat transport as well as fighter aircraft in the Indian Air Force. And we have very routine and very extensive transport aircraft operations which take place from this base. To give you an example of the quantum of the air operations we undertake here, we have lifted close to 1900 tons of load and close to 11,000 combat troops from Chandigarh to this place, and a similar amount of troops back from Thoise to Chandigarh. In fact, in the morning, the sight of a C-17 landing or a ILC is such a welcome sight for all my troops and boys here because the aircraft takes them back on much deserved and desired leave. The level at which we are standing right now is 10,000 feet. And as you are well aware, the capability of aerial platforms in hot and high conditions goes down drastically. Particularly this is true in the case of helicopters. So the pilots are operating at the extreme margins of the capabilities of the machine. So each one of these boys, the pilots whom you meet here flying in this AOR, are the masters in their craft. They are some of the most skilled pilots, helicopter pilots anywhere in the world, and piloting these machines in these altitudes, in the kind of weather which we have, the kind of load they carry is actually a challenge, and they do this day in and day out, every day, 365 days of the year, and they've been doing this almost for the last 40 years.
From Thoise, in the next episode, we move to another critical IAF advanced landing ground, Neoma, that's being converted into a full-fledged operational airbase, and document the Army's armoured posture close to the LAC.